Welcome, it's Michelle from Clarinet Mentors. Today I have a 5-minute video for you that covers what I feel are some of the most important things to help us as clarinetists sound good when we play. This is especially true if you're trying to make your high register sound good, which is a challenge for all of us. Now, I had a lesson with a very good colleague last week who reminded me of some of these same things in myself. So even though I would call these the basics, I would also say that for all of us as players, we do need to review it from time to time. So if you're relatively new to the clarinet, these are great concepts for you to learn and get comfortable with. If you're more experienced, they're great to review. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I invite you to put your own comments and questions in the comments box right below this video. I love hearing from you. If you're not already a member of my Clarinet Mentors community, which is totally free to join, you'll see an invitation at the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. Let's look at one of the most basic fundamentals of clarinet playing. That's our embouchure, how we shape our mouth, because it has a big impact on high notes. So a quick review of the basics is always good to do, because over time we tend to let our embouchure get a little sloppy. So even if you know this, now's a good time to check how you're doing. I like having the 3-step embouchure. Let's review it together. Step 1. We want to have our bottom lip slightly over our bottom teeth and pull everything else down away from the reed. And a lot of times people get a little sloppy on this, and really the only way that you can know is to look at yourself from the side in profile. Great way to do it. Have a friend with a cell phone take a photo of you from the side. I do this with my students here in my studio all the time and see how it looks. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see that shape. We have a curve in this way. If too much of my lip goes over my teeth, I lose that. Or if I'm a little sloppy, I get soft, flabby, blobby stuff here. We want the reed to vibrate as much as it can, and blobby bottom lip will inhibit the vibration of the reed. Not a good thing. One way to help you get that shape is to literally pull it down with a finger while you're playing. So I could just play an open G, which leaves my left hand free. Now you hear when I'm moving it around, the tone's really wobbly and unstable. That's okay. What I'm doing is just sending the message to my mouth muscles and to my brain that I want that to pull down more. Sometimes you have to do that to teach the muscles how to do it. So do look for that. Step 2, we want to make sure we have enough mouthpiece in our mouth. Whether you put your top teeth on the mouthpiece, as many clarinet players do, or you play with double lip embouchure, meaning your top lip is over the edge of your top teeth, how much mouthpiece we put in our mouth does affect the tone for sure. The more mouthpiece we have in our mouth, the more the reed can vibrate. So generally we want to go as far as we sound good. And the reason I say as far as we sound good, there's an invisible line. When you cross it, you get a horrible squeak and it doesn't sound good. So again, I'm sure you've seen this before, but just take a note, play it, put a little bit more in, play it, put a little bit more in, play it again. Find that optimum spot for you. The third thing is the corners of our mouth need to come in. Now this is especially important for the high register. When we go into the altissimo, which is our 3rd register, our highest notes, that's crucial. We all have a habit of biting down and putting tension onto the reed when we play the extreme high notes, and that just causes the sound to be pinched and thin. So rounding our corners in, again, really releases pressure on the reed and allows it to vibrate like crazy, which is what we want it to do. That's a really important part of our playing. That's related to my next point on embouchure, which is what we do with our tongue inside of our mouth, which is called voicing. We want our tongue to sit as high as it can, as if we're saying the word he, kind of hissing, he. When we bring the corners of our lips in, oh, just automatically our tongue thinks we're saying oh, and our tongue will drop to a lower position. So one of the trainings for you is lips say oh, tongue says he at the same time. Oh-wee. It's kind of like in Wizard of Oz. Oh-wee, oh, except you need to stay in the E. He, and keep your lips frozen. Tricky, but that will really help your high notes. And finally, if you think you might be biting in the high register, in other words, if you're squeaking a lot or if you're getting a pinch sound, you probably are biting. We tend to do that naturally. Always remember you can revert back to that embouchure tester fingering, which was thumb register key, first 2 fingers, and then leaving that hole empty and the next 2. Remember, this is a volatile fingering for high G sharp, and it will squeak very easily if you're biting. Here's me just biting a little bit. Oh, I squeaked. Well, that's what happens with this fingering. If I round my corners in, still thinking he, that will come out sounding like a G sharp. If my air is wimpy, I won't get a G sharp, I'll get a funny low sound. And that's just a clue that note doesn't have enough support, so I'm going to crank it up. That's our quick review of embouchure and voicing and how it contributes to making high notes sound better.